So today I'm going to look at the game between Vladimir Kramnik and Aronian. It was played at the Istanbul Olympiad just last year. And in the last few years, Kramnik and Aronian have played quite a few very interesting games between each other, and they've been kind of switching back and forth between the second and third place in the ratings recently, and so this game, I think, is one of the more interesting ones between them. Kramnik was playing with the white pieces, and he went for the Slav exchange. This very solid setup. He delays the development of this knight from g1, but it gets interesting when Aronian plays g6, developing the bishop to g7. Slightly rare system. And we'll see that Kramnik doesn't want to allow bishop g4, so Aronian plays bishop f5, even more interesting, and Kramnik just develops and take that bishop. Doesn't want to give the opponent the grip over e4. Light square bishops come off, and Kramnik starts to build up some pressure, so he wants to just play on the queen side on the c file. He sees this a6 and b7 pawn structure as a bit of a target. It stops white from directly attacking things with knight b5 or queen b5, but it doesn't solve all the problems. For now, black reinforces the d5 pawn. The knight starts to invade, and for a while, black kind of successfully, defends against this. The knight comes to e4, covering c5. Kramnik doesn't mind exchanging one pair of knights. So he's generally very not afraid of simplification throughout this whole game, even though he really wants to win in this game, I'm sure. f6 is probably slightly weakening, probably was not justified, but it's understandable, and he wants to cover up the e5 square. So the knight can't go there, so it starts to go through d2, maybe coming to c5, maybe coming to a5. Aronian swaps dark square bishops, which maybe wasn't necessary because now he doesn't really have any piece to cover up c5. And this is the critical position in the game. He could have played probably pawn to b6 just to cover up all these weaknesses. I'm sure he didn't like to have a6 slightly weakened, but it probably wasn't so bad. The move he played in the game, however, allows Kramnik a very nice idea of utilizing this pressure against the c6 knight. So first, Kramnik puts pressure on that knight, so he wants to give opponent sort of a bad pawn structure. Like Aronian doesn't want to allow white just to take. That would leave him slightly worse for the rest of the game. So he tries to defend it, but this kind of walks into a bit of a pin here, because now all the rooks are on the c file. And Kramnik played a brilliant move here. You can try to think, if you haven't seen this game yet, you can try to think of what he played. But the idea is that he played knight to b7 here, and that's quite nice, because it turns out that black, even though the position has simplified, black doesn't have a good defense against this shot. So of course he has to take, and then Kramnik's idea is that he then takes another pawn, and that knight is still pinned. If white's allowed to recapture that knight, he's gonna win because of the two extra pawns he's got. So black has to defend, and then Kramnik just plays b4 as if nothing happened, as if he hasn't sacrificed anything. And now there are multiple pins. The pin on the 6th rank against the queen on the e6 pawn, which has been weakened, and there's also, of course, the pressure on the c file, and these rooks really can't. The rooks can't move, the knight can't move. It turns out to be very difficult, probably lost for black. And the last accurate move that Kramnik played is queen to b6. I think the idea is that if this, I think then he takes, and then if this, then he gets this, and then he regains the queen back, and he's up 2 pawns. So this is how he planned to exploit the weakening of the 7th rank that black allowed with f6. So rook b7 doesn't work, and now black is really running out of ideas. He had this one last shot that Kramnik foresaw, I'm sure, and it doesn't work, unfortunately, for black. Check, and just the king retreats, and it turns out that even though it seems the black won the piece again, he's still up a piece, but uh, this is the problem. The pawn is too far advanced, the knight is out of the game, the black king is weak, he has some other weak pawns, and black just can't hold this. He can't stop the b pawn from advancing. And he played another couple of moves, but the b6 pawn just goes. Check. Another couple of accurate moves. And Kramnik had it all calculated up to here, and he saw that he's winning the b pawn, queens first. So a very instructive game between these two top players. You can't really go any higher than that. And it's interesting how Kramnik exploited this a6 move by exchanging all the pieces and then just threatening to come with a knight to either c5 or to a5. And with that, he really had initiative throughout the whole game. And then one slip from black, and this whole simple position just kind of collapsed. Thanks for watching.